So hello guys, welcome to Ashutosh Coaching Center. Hello guys, welcome to Ashutosh Coaching Center. Now today we are starting the chapter name is ray optics and बोलते नहीं optical instruments. Okay, देखो देखते होता क्या है. Ray optics, an optical instrument that deals with the study of light and the way it behaves and interact with the object and the surfaces. And देखा जाए तो the chapter covers top related to the properties of light, refraction, lenses and optical instruments. Reflection of light, the phenomena in which a light ray is sent back into the same medium from which it is coming and on interaction with a boundary and is called reflection. The boundary can be rigid surface or just an interface between two media. Laws of deflection, the angle of deflection equals to the angle of incident, I is equal to r. The incident ray and the reflected ray and the normal deflecting on the surface all lie in the same plane. Okay. Spherical mirror क्या होता है? Spherical mirror are curved mirror with a spherical shape and where the surface of the mirror is a part of sphere. The two types of spherical mirror are called convex and the concave mirror. या concave mirror या convex mirror. In concave mirror has inward curved surface and while a convex has outward curved surface. Okay, and उसमें देखा जाए तो सेंटर ऑफ कर्वेचर क्या होता है? The center of curvature is the center of sphere and of which is a mirror of part. The radius of a curvature. The radius of curvature is the radius of a sphere in which the measure is the part. And the pole of it mirror क्या होता है? The pole is the geometric center of the mirror and the principal axis. The principal axis is the lining passing through the pole and the center of curvature. Normal. Any line joining the mirror its center curvature of normal. Sign convention क्या होता है? देखो the sign for a sign for a spherical mirror is a set of agreed upon rules that define the direction of distance and the orientation of object and image position in the study of deflection and the spherical mirror. The sign convention for the sign convention for the mirror consists only totally and the mirror typically and consists of the following type rules. First, the distance of object from the mirror is taken as the positive and it is on the same side light source and the negative and if it is positive opposite side. दूसरा कह रहा है the distance of image from the mirror is also taken as a positive and it is the same side as a light source. Negative if if it is on the opposite side. Okay, the height of object or a image above the principal axis and the considered positive it is above the axis and the negatively it is the below axis. The magnification of the image is defined as the ratio of the height of image and to formed and to the height of image object and is taken as a positive of the image is upright and the negative image is inverted. By the use of sign convention it becomes possible to determine and the position, size and the orientation of an image are formed by a sphere mirror. Focal length of sphere. The focal length is a fundamental parameter of mirror and determine its optical and which is ability of the mirror to converge or diverge light. The concave mirror has negatively focal length and which means that it diverges light and convex mirror has positive focal length which means that it converges light. Okay, and the focal length of the spherical mirror is proportional to its radius of curvature and can be calculated using formula T is equal to r by 2 for a concave mirror and f is equal to minus r by 2 is for a convex mirror. Okay, उसका देखा जाए where the radius where the r is the radius of curvature of the mirror. Okay, इसका भी फोटो ले लो, ध्यान रखना सीखो. उसके बाद क्या बोल रहा है? इमेज फॉर्म्ड बाय द कॉन्केव mirror equation. Image formed by the concave mirror occur due to the reflection of ray and from the curved surface of the mirror depending on the position of the object relative to the mirror. the image formed can be either real or the virtual. It can be magnified or reduced in the size. The object is located at between the focus and the center of curvature of the mirror, and the image is real and inverted magnified. On the other hand, the object is located outside the center of curvature and the image is formed virtual if erect reduced in the size. The size and the position of the image can be determined and using the mirror and the equation and the relationship between the object u distance u and image formed v, the focal length f and of the mirror. Mirror equation is equal to 1 by v plus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f. Refraction, because refraction is the bending of light as a passes from a one transparent medium and to the another of different refractive index, causing to the change of diffraction and the speed. The amount of bending depend on the refractive indices of two media and angle of incidence of the light and the described as the Snell's law. अब Snell's law क्या होता है देखो. The first statement Snell's law that states that the incident ray and the refracted ray are the normal to the interface at the point of incidence and the lie on the in the same plane. The second statement that the ratio of the sine of the angle of incident to the sine angle of refraction is equal to the ratio of the refractive index of two media, where refractive index of the second medium with respect to the medium is separated by the mu. Absolute refractive index क्या होता है? Absolute refractive index mu is the ratio of the speed light in a vacuum to the speed of light in a medium. It gives measure of the how much light shows down and when it enters a material, and it used in the optics and the optical engineering to the describe behavior of light in different material. Okay, and mu is equal to c by b, where c is equal to a light of speed and v मतलब बोलते हैं ना v is equal to velocity of मतलब स्पीड ऑफ लाइट को हो या वेलोसिटी ऑफ लाइट को इन द मीडियम. ओके, इसका भी फॉर्मूला याद रखना. mu is equal to c by b. अब आता है टोटल इंटरनल रिफ्लेक्शन क्या होता है. व्हेन लाइट ट्रेवल्स फ्रॉम एन ऑप्टिकली डेंसर मीडियम टू द रियर मीडियम एंड एट अ interferes, okay, मतलब interface, it is a particularly reflected back into the same medium and the particularly reflected to the second medium, and reflection is called internal reflection. And when the ray of light enters from a denser medium to the rarer medium and it bends away from the normal, and the angle of refraction r and being larger than the angle of incidence I, and as the angle of incidence increases it does not angle of it, so does the angle of refraction for the ray, and the angle of refraction is 90 degree, and the angle of incidence corresponding to the to an angle of refraction 90 degree is called critical angle. If the angle of incident increase still further and reflection is not possible, then incident is called total internal reflection. Okay, इसे हम लोग total reflection कहते हैं. ओके, अब आगे देखो एप्लीकेशन ऑफ टोटल इंटरनल रिफ्लेक्शन क्या होता है मिरर में. A mirage is a naturally occurring optical phenomena that is often caused by the total internal reflection, and the mirror is created when the light is reflected or bent as it travels through a different layer or air and with the varying temperature, and when a layer of hot air lies above the layer of cool air, light from the sky can bend and the reflective internally and the creating the illusion of the pool of water on the ground. This is known as the superior image. The principle of total internal reflection is also creating the artificial mirage in the technology. For example, military and aviation and applications, satellite technology often use the special coating and the material to produce the mirage, and that effect can be hide and the vehicles and the aircraft of from view. Similarly, in the automotive industry and head up and the display HUDs are the total internal reflection to the project and the formation onto a transparent surface such as the windshield, allowing the drivers to keep their eyes on the road while the assessing important information. डायमंड के बारे में देख लो. The critical angle for the diamond ear interference is very small, which means that the once light can enter diamond and it undergoes total internal reflection. Okay, and this internal reflection created the brilliant sparkle and the characteristic of the diamond. Okay, by the cutting of diamond in a way that create many flat surface and angle, multiple total reflection can be made to the occur, आइडेंटिफ बोलते नहीं है intensifying the diamond sparkle. The traditional brown brilliant cut diamond is designed to the take advantage of total internal reflection to the maximize brilliant and fire of the stone. In this cut, the diamond is cut with many faced to that are angle and position to the reflect and light internally and returns to the observer's eye and creating a sparkles and the brilliance appearance. Okay, आता है अब प्रिज्म। प्रिज्म के बारे में जान लो। प्रिज्म क्या होता है? प्रिज्म आर डिजाइन टू द बेंड ऑफ लाइट एंड बाय द 90 डिग्री to 180 degree and the phenomena of total internal reflection such as prism used to the invert image without the changing their size. Okay, ऑप्टिकल फाइबर्स क्या होता है? ऑप्टिकल फाइबर आर मेड अप ऑफ थिन एंड ट्रांसपेरेंट कोर surrounded by a cladding layer with a lower refractive index. Okay, the difference in the refractive index between the core and the cladding causes a light to be internally reflected and within the core. This means that the light is confined within the core and does not leak out into the cladding. And the critical angle is the angle of incidence and at the core cladding interface and at which total internal reflection occurred. When the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle, the light is totally internally reflected and the continuous to travel down the core. And the property makes optical fiber ideal for the transmitting optical signals over a long distance without the significant loss of signals and strength, and the making them widely used in the telecommunication network and the other optical communication system. Lens formula. The lens formula is a mathematical equation and used to describe as the behavior of light as it passes through a lens. The formula that the ratio of the distance to the, of the object from the lens u and to the distance of image from the lens v and e is equal refractive index n and of the lens material, like 1 by f is equal to 1 by u minus 1 by u, 1 by v minus 1 by u minus 1 by v. ओके, नाउ आते हैं लेंस मेकर फार्मूला पे। ओके सॉरी, इससे पहले मिरर फार्मूला है। द मिरर फार्मूला इज मैथमेटिकल इक्वेशन दैट डिस्क्राइब द बिहेवियर दैट लाइट एज अ रिफ्लेक्ट ऑफ अ मिरर एंड द फार्मूला related the distance object distance u and the image distance v and the focal length f of a mirror is given by 1 by f is equal to 1 by u plus 1 by v, and where the f is the distance between the mirror and the focal point, u is the distance between the mirror point and the object, and v is the distance between the mirror and the image. Okay, the mirror formula can be used and determined in the location and the characteristic the image found by a mirror and given the position of the object, and it is important to note that the focal length of mirror is negative if the image is virtual erect and the smaller than the object, and the positive if the image is real inverted and the larger than the object. Okay, lens maker formula. Lens maker formula is a mathematical equation used to calculate the focal length of lens, and the formula is given by 1 by f is equal to n minus 1 into 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. ओके, ये हमारा फार्मूला है लेंस मेकर, लेंस बनाने का फार्मूला, इसको ध्यान रखना। वेयर एफ इज द फोकल लेंथ ऑफ लेंस एंड एन इज द रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स ऑफ द लेंस मटेरियल एंड द r1 is the radius of curvature of one of the lens surface, and the r2 is the radius of curvature of other lens of surface, and the lens maker formula is used to design the lens and with the specific focal length and the refractive index. It is used to the optical design software to optimize the lens performance in a variety of applications. The formula assumes that the lens is made of a single homogeneous mixed material and that is thin enough to the treated and as a paraxial lens, where the light ray are nearly parallel to the optical axis. Combination of thin lens in contact. When two thin lenses are placed in the contact with each other, the combination of the two lenses act as a single lens and with different focal length than either the individual lenses. The effective focal length of the combined lens system and can be calculated using the lens formula and the principle of reversibility. The combined focal length of the lens in the contact can be found using the following formula: 1 by f is equal to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2, where the f is the effective focal length of the combination of the lens system and f1 and f2 are the focal length of the individual lenses. ओके तो ये फॉर्मूला भी ध्यान रखना. 1 by f is equal, ओके, इसका फोटो ले लो. ये समझ ही गया. अब इट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट टू नोट दैट द कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ लेंस is in contact is only the valid if the lenses are thin enough to be treated as paraxial lens and if the distance between the lens is much smaller than their focal length. ओके, उसके बाद जानते हैं पावर ऑफ लेंस क्या होता है. एक लेंस का पावर क्या होता है. तो power of a lens known as the refractive power and is a measure of the ability to lens bend and the change direction of the light, and the power of lens is defined as the reciprocal of its focal length and it is usually expressed in the unit of diopter. Okay. अब देखा जाए तो द मिरर ऑफ पावर ऑफ अ लेंस इज गिवन बाय द P इज इक्वल टू 1 बाय एफ. P क्या है, पावर ऑफ डायोप्टर है, जब एफ क्या है, फोकल लेंथ है. ओके. अब देखा जाए वेयर लेंस P इज इक्वल टू याद करेगा 1 बाय एफ होता है. ओके. अब उसके बाद देखो ध्यान से, several lens power P1, P2 and P3 are in contact. Effective power on their combination is given by P is equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3 and so on. And power of a lens can be used and determine the amount of correction and needed for a specific visual detect and such as nearsightedness or the farsightedness and to the calculated evaluated power of a lens recombination combination. Okay. Diffraction through a prism. Diffraction through a prism is the bending of light as it passes through the triangular shaped optical element and the typical made of glass or plastic. When light enters prism and it is reflected or bent or at each of the surface of the prism, resulting in a deviation of the light path, and the amount of deviation is determined by the angle of prism and the diffraction index of the material of the prism. In the prism, angle of incidence and the angle of diffraction are related by the Snell's law. When light enters prism and it is reflected at each surface and the path of light is changes. The deviation of light path depend on the shape of the prism and the angle of prism and the refractive index of the material of the prism. Okay. Prisms are commonly used in the optical instrument such as the binocular and the periscope and to the inverted or the reverse image to separate the light into the constituent color and or to the change of direction in an optical system. Dispersion क्या है? Dispersion is a separation of light into its constituent color or wavelength as it passes through a medium such as prism. Okay, and the different color of the light which are a part of visible medium and visual spectrum have different wavelength of the reflective indices. Okay, when a light enters with a different refractive index it is refracted or the bent to a different extent and depending on the wavelength. As a result, the light of the different color is separated or dispersed into a rainbow color, and in spectrometry, dispersion is used to separate the light from a source into the constituent color for analysis, while in the prism and diffraction is used to produce a rainbow of a color or for viewing or for use in the optical system. Okay. उसके बाद आता है रेनबो. रेनबो क्या होता है देखो. In order to understand the formation of rainbow, consider a light entering the rainbow and which and which causes the different wavelength and the color and of white light to the separate due to the diffraction. Okay, the diffraction of color light are bent differently and upon the reaching inner surface of the raindrop, and the if the angle between the diffractive ray and normal to the greater than the critical angle is 48 degree. Okay, and light will be internally reflected, and the deflected light then get refracted again, and when it exists raindrop. The result of three-step process is that observer and sees a rainbow with red color of on the top and the violet on the bottom. This is known as the primary rainbow. Okay, a scattering of light क्या होता है? Scattering of light is refers to the phenomena and in which light deviates from its original path and spread into the various direction, and after the interaction with the particles in the medium it travels through, and this can happen due to reflection, refraction, diffraction, or absorption and re-emission by the particles. Okay, the type and the intensity of scattering depend on the size and the composition of the particles as well as the frequency of light. The most commonly known type of scattering and the Rayleigh scattering, and which occur in a clear skies and causes the color of sky. Okay, the microscope is a specific instrument that used to the observe substances that are too small and seen with the naked eye. It worked by a lens to use to magnify and the object of specimen and the project it in onto a eyepiece or a camera. The objective lens from a real inverted magnified image of the object, and which serves as the object of the eyepieces and lens. Okay, the eye magnifies the intermediate image further and produce a final enlarged inverted virtual image. The distance between the eyepieces and the intermediate image of effect the final magnification, and it is the said to forms final image at infinity or a little closer to the wing at the near near point. Okay, magnification power is given by m is equal to mu naught by u naught into डी बाई यू प्लस डी बाई एफ ई. ओके, ये माइक्रोस्कोप का फॉर्मूला है, ध्यान रखना. ओके, अब टेलीस्कोप का नाम देख लो. टेलीस्कोप इज अ ऑप्टिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट एंड यूज टू द ऑब्जर्व द distant object and such as stars, planet, galaxies, and the nebula by collecting the magnifying the light they emit. And there are the two main type of telescope, and the refractive telescope and the reflective telescope. And the refractive telescope are also known as the refractor use a combination of lens to the gather and the focus light. They have a long narrow tube and with a convex lens at one end and objective lens and an eyepiece at the other end. The objective lens form inverted and the magnified image of the mirror image of the object, which is then the magnified further by the eyepiece. डिफ्रैक्टिव टेलीस्कोप क्या होता है? ठीक है, डिफ्लेक्टिव टेलीस्कोप also known as the reflector and use the mirror to the gather focus and light, and they have short wide tube and with a concave mirror at one end and the primer primary mirror and any piece at the other end, and the primary measure reflects to a smaller secondary mirror and which is turned reflected the light to the spy piece. Working of refracting IP telescope. Okay, देखो telescope is used to the provide angular magnification of distant object, and it is also consist of an objective of and an eyepiece. But here the objective has a large focal length and much larger aperture than the eyepiece. Light from the distant object enters the objective, and the real image is formed in the tube at the second focal point of the convex objective lens, and the eye magnifies this image and the producing a final inverted image. Okay, जहाँ पे मैग्नीफाइंग पावर इज मेजर्ड बाय m इज इक्वल टू f माइनस एफ नॉट बाय 1 बाय एफ ई प्लस 1 बाय भी। ओके, ये भी फॉर्मूला को ध्यान रखना। नाउ थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग वीडियो टिल द एंड डियर बच्चा सब, यानी कि थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग वीडियो टिल द एंड guys, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe because you are a part of journey of needs. So bye bye and see you in next video.